It's on! I can't even keep a straight face right now. Alright. It's on! Hello, everyone. Welcome to The Drink. This is the show that talks about environment and climate issues and solutions over a couple of nice, refreshing adult beverages. Thank you for joining us today. Alyssa Bradley, how are you on this fine snowy day?
I'm really fantastic. How are you, Ted?
I'm doing good. I'm a little hot because of this fleece, but hey, better.
Well,
I'd rather be too hot than too cold, though.
Yeah, we live with our decisions.
Yeah. Pretty much. So, I know that you are part of Clean Water Action. That's correct?
That's correct, yep. I am the energy organizer and a senior field manager for our Canvas office in Montclair.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
Yeah, so just, just give us more of a background on you and kind of go into the whole organization, if you will.
Sure. So, Clean Water Action it's a nonprofit environmental organization focused on grassroots activism and public outreach to get shit done. Because to be completely honest with you, an environmental organization can tell legislators what to do on the environment all we want. But the folks that legislators really listen to are the people that vote for them. And so that's who we reach out to deliver the message for us and with us. We started, the organization was founded in 1972 along with the Clean Water Act. And we came to New Jersey and started canvassing in New Jersey in 1981, I want to say, or 1982, I forget.
Somewhere around there. Sorry, for those of you that don't know, I also work for Clean Water Action, so I'm like, wait a second, yeah, I think so.
Yeah. And so what I do is I started out in the canvas.
I'm listening, don't worry.
Yeah, no, I know you. I started out in the canvas, knocking on doors, talking to folks, getting them to sign support statements, make donations, write letters to their legislators. Did that for about a year and a half. And then I moved up the organizational ladder, if you will, and started doing energy organizing, which basically means that I'm in charge, or partly in charge, of making sure that New Jersey starts investing in more renewable energy and starts divesting dirty energy, like oil and natural gas. Yes, I said natural gas is dirty.
Oh, gasp! Natural gas is dirty? What?
Yeah.
No way,
right?
I think you're lying to us.
According to the Republican Party, I'm absolutely lying to you.
Oh, that's... yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
According to the oil and gas lobby, I'm lying to you.
Tell me how that is.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Yeah?
That's beautiful.
I made it with love and sweat and
so
tears.
Much.
So.
I saw the sweat. I don't know if I saw the tears.
Those were hidden. I was holding them back.
So yeah, that's kind of what I do. I spend most of my time in Trenton directly lobbying legislators, and the work that the Canvas does, getting individuals involved, is a huge integral part of what I do, because I can say, hey, I've got 150,000 members in the state of New Jersey who agree with what I'm saying right now. A lot of them live in your district and vote for you, so get with the program.
Might want to step it up a little bit.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've done that too, where I a bunch of people will be like, "Oh my God, this is so awesome! Like what you guys are doing," because obviously I canvas too, and when I'm allowing someone to kind of voice their opinion through the letters and everything, like you said, it's it's almost mind blowing to them, because they're like, "Oh my God, I could actually voice my opinion! Like, what is this?"
Right. It's so funny because it seems like such a low bar for democracy, like getting involved and letting your legislators know that you're not happy, or you are happy with what they're doing, or that you agree with, clean energy and clean drinking water in New Jersey. That should that's such a low bar, but I feel like folks, they live their lives.
I feel like it's overlooked. I feel like, well, not really overlooked, but I also feel like it's we're so used to not having like a voiced opinion or like, you know, a way to kind of, you know, get involved and say, hey, like I care about this too, you know what I'm saying? And
yeah, absolutely. Well, that's yeah. I mean, people go about their daily lives. If you live in New Jersey and you work, you know, in the Philadelphia financial district, or you work in New York City, or, you know, you own a law firm, like you're not thinking about this stuff on a daily basis. You don't.
No.
I mean, if you have kids, you probably don't have the luxury of thinking about it all the time.
well,
So
definitely want them to, you know, be having clean drinking water. I mean,
Right.
I know I do. You know,
right. Well,
so.
absolutely. So I think I love the Canvas in that aspect, because we're literally knocking on people's doors and asking them to pay attention for 3 minutes and do something that makes a huge difference. And they don't really have to go that much out of their way to do it.
It's really not. I mean, granted, I get it. Everyone has their stuff to do. Because I mean, I do, you do, everyone does.
Yeah.
But in the long term, it definitely helps to like take like not
Yeah.
2 minutes out of your busy day to just write a letter really quick. And most of the time, we have the little like templates too.
Yeah. So I like it. I think it engages people in that moment, and then
definitely.
makes them realize that how easy it is to actually be engaged and stay engaged.
Oh yeah, definitely. And
So, you know, we're making them see that the bar is that low.
yeah, pretty much.
There was a fog
literally
around the
spelling
bar,
it out.
and now they've seen it.
Well, it's funny that you say like how like the bar's so low, just because I've even like, and during my whole Canvas thing, I've actually called you a couple times, but like it's like, you know, for help and stuff, but also it's almost like when they're doing the letters and everything to voice their opinion to their local legislators, it's like some of them literally write out a whole note that says, sorry, I didn't have time, to me, and then I'm like,
right, sorry, I didn't have time to write a letter, and then they list all these excuses, and you're like, you literally could have written a letter in that time.
That time, the effort that you did to, you know, write that out, you could have,
Like,
that could have been one letter. I'm just like,
that is the most mind-blowing thing. I know. I think that people think that politics is hard, that getting involved is hard, and it's just not. And that's what I love about Clean Water Action. That's what I love about...
No, definitely. I totally agree. But,
you know.
But I kind of disagree a tiny bit on what you're saying, only because... well, you know what? But, like, I definitely feel that... Because before I joined Clean Water Action, I didn't like politics just because they just all make it all about the money and like all this stuff that's just not like they just don't make it interesting, and it's like,
yeah.
And granted, I'm not saying everything has to be interesting, but what I'm trying to say is they make it all about the money, and it's just like, be an actual leader, care about the people that you're an official for, and you know, because I was actually talking. I didn't meet this guy, but I really wish I had. I think his name is Tong or something like that. He was a president of the South Pacific Islands, and I watched a video on him, and he's like, "No, you know what makes a true leader is when you put your people before yourself."
Oh yeah.
And yeah, it does. However, there's always trade-offs and everything. But what I'm saying is like, care more about the people and not about the money.
Yeah.
Is what I'm really trying to say.
Yeah, I mean,
So.
I would love to just tell people, like, I agree with you that should be the way it is.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I'm under no
theory.
illusions that it's not the way it is. You know, cash is king, man. It's always going to be that way.
Well, yeah, for sure.
And the funny thing is that the policies that I'm advocating for in Trenton are actually more economically viable than the way that we've been doing things. Absolutely.
Please explain.
Okay, well, with the example of natural gas versus, let's just say, wind or solar power in New Jersey. Like, yeah, we'd have to have the original cost of setting up that clean energy infrastructure. It's not going to be cheap. I'm not telling you it's not going to be. But once you have that infrastructure, pipelines break down every day. There's leaks. There's like ruptures. There's all this stuff that goes on. There's a lot of upkeep and a lot of maintenance and cost that goes into that dirty energy infrastructure. Clean energy infrastructure is more cost efficient when you're building it, first of all, period. And
the whole development,
right,
like you have to plan. The planning is like like half of it.
Right, like I'm
it's
sorry, building a
most
pipeline
important.
has a much higher cost than putting a solar panel on a rooftop. Like it just does. When you're talking about a grander scale, yeah, sure, it might originally cost a little bit more money, but over time, the cost of that, there's not as much high maintenance costs. And where there is maintenance, it provides higher paying, longer lasting jobs than the oil and gas industry. There's a lot of factors that go into it.
Just saying it for the
Yeah.
renewable energy industry, the upcoming industry, I definitely think it's a lot cleaner jobs in a sense because,
Well, yeah, I mean,
well, just going back to a couple documentaries that I have watched in terms of mining for coal, back in the day, they, a lot of people died from either explosion inside the actual mining cave or
yeah.
black lung too.
yeah, absolutely. Oh my god, could you imagine like taking a metal axe and like picking away at like combustible material and rock like that? That's insane.
I mean,
but you know what we did?
It is
we
insane
did
for
what we
us
had
because
to do.
yeah, it definitely is. You got to do what you got to do to make a living.
You do.
However, sometimes.
Right, but the thing is that I feel like we are just sticking to the status quo because, it's where the money's been for decades and decades
for a long time.
centuries. I lost my train of thought. But renewable energy. I'm getting over a cold.
I think we all are getting over like some kind of congestion or whatever. I mean, I know I
right. Oh my god. But
feel better, everyone. Anyway.
But to be completely honest with you, renewable energy is the future. We are just sticking with this I got my train of thought back. We're sticking with this status quo because it's the status quo and people don't like change. But also because I think the change is scary for the people who hold the majority of the wealth in this country.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
But here, cheers to renewable energy.
Cheers to renewable energy.
There you go.
Plus, when you factor in public health costs, the health costs of the workers, if someone got black lung while they're working in a coal mine, like that coal company has to now pay that person's medical bills and their medical expenses.
Well, that's also what they.
And if they don't, then guess what? The government does because they can't afford to. So they go on things like Medicaid, right?
Yeah.
Medicare. So Medicare, not Medicaid.
Well, aren't they? From what I hear, aren't they similar though? I'm not too.
I switched the two of them. Fact check me, but I think Medicaid.
Fact check.
Medicaid,
there we go.
Medicaid is for senior citizens, and Medicare is for. It's the other way. Okay, so Medicaid is for people below a certain
age.
No, below a certain income level, and they can't afford. It's like government assisted medical care, and then Medicaid is for elderly people.
Oh no, you have it reversed. No,
I've reversed it again. See, it's hard, man. Help it.
Hey, I give you credit for that because I honestly didn't know.
Health policy is not my forte. Can you tell?
No, I could not. Wait, is that it? Frankie, that is correct?
Yeah, Medicare is the federal program that provides health coverage if you're 65 or older.
Yeah.
Or have a severe disability, no matter your income.
No matter your income, right.
Medicaid is if you have a very low income.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Wait,
so,
what was like the whole Obama care and stuff? Was that the same thing?
It's a different healthcare marketplace. So we created a healthcare marketplace that costs less than traditional. It's basically a government subsidy for health insurance costs. Is basically what the whole thing boils down to.
I'm sorry, all that stuff just confuses me until I actually know it.
And it's funded by if you don't have health insurance, you get a fine on your taxes, and that's how it's funded. But they just got rid of that in the tax bill, so yay.
Excuse me.
But anyway, and then you factor in costs of asthma. Burning CO2 and burning methane causes people to have respiratory problems. It causes people to have heart disease. It causes people to have brain development issues. There's all of these external costs that have just traditionally not been factored into where we get our energy from. If you really look at just the raw numbers, oil
feel like they
might
would
still
have
be
to-
natural gas might still be cheaper, but in the long run, it's not.
Well, I feel like it would just, they would have to factor that in, but they, say, oh, it'll be okay for the next, few years or whatever. But
Well,
they kind of
they deny the health impacts, actually.
That's what it is.
They
That's
say
what I was
there's no
trying to go for.
proven there might be correlation between us and health issues, but there's no causal link. You can't prove it, and the burden of proof is going to lie, on us, not the freaking oil company.
Yeah, it'll probably literally cost an arm and a leg, or back
Yeah,
in the
no,
day it
literally
did.
a lung.
Or a lung.
So yeah,
That has to suck if you having black lung or just like a collapsed lung or just respiratory issues. Period. Because I mean, I've had asthma most of my life, and then luckily I think I grew out of it. Hopefully, I haven't had any like asthma attacks in a while, so that's a good
you've gone to
thing.
Vermont and gotten some fresh air, so you're good.
Yeah, I came out of the cave and got some fresh air after
Yeah,
a while.
there you go.
Or the chlorine cave when I swam.
And you have Burlington, 100% renewable energy.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, Vermont is in the Regional Greenhouse Gas Initiative that New Jersey was in, but Christie pulled us out of. So they're moving more forward more quickly than we are, quicker.
Excuse me.
I'm really
Sorry,
eloquent
I'm
today.
choking on myself. No, but well, I believe Jersey is since we're talking about renewable still, Jersey is number one leading in solar power though.
We used to be.
Maybe then I got my facts wrong since last year.
Christie took us out of the regional greenhouse gas initiative, RGGI for short. It's like the industry slang. We were the world's leader in solar panel production.
That's what it was.
I mean, Trump is so like gung-ho for all these we need to bring manufacturing and like good factory jobs back to the United States. Hey, guess what's gonna do that? Freaking solar panels.
But
So.
the one problem with the whole renewable manufacturing stuff is that it's great. Don't get me wrong, like, using renewable energy, solar, wind, whatever, it's totally great. But the one thing that I do want to stress about this show is that we don't really take into effect of how we're disposing of our waste. So, what I'm saying? Like, for example, like solar power panels, the system, they only have, like a 15, 20-year life warranty, like a lifetime.
Yeah.
But, like, what happens after that is, like, we have to take them off and then landfill or whatever. Like, what I'm saying? Like, how we dispose of them.
You can recycle solar panels and build new solar panels out of old solar panels.
I thought most of the material is not actually, like, recyclable or anything. From what I've read.
I've read the opposite, but maybe there's something in the middle.
But seriously, what have you read? Because it could...
I don't... it was like a New York Times article from like 2 years ago. So I wouldn't be able to find it right now off the top of my head. But
Hey Frankie, can you look that up a little bit?
yeah, look it up. Solar panel.
The solar panel material being recyclable or disposed.
So solar panels comprise of metals and glass, which if they're separated and captured, it can be reused by the manufacturer or
okay, so it is like recyclable.
Or of other products, and it is possible through the technology that we have today. And that is still being developed to recycle more than 90%.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, the stuff that you can't recycle is,
For silicon-based
like
PV
the metal and
modules,
glass,
the process
the
starts
plastic.
with
definitely glass
separating the
is
different kinds of
definitely,
waste at delivery.
Thanks, Frankie.
Conveyor belts take them to the
I
next
love your
phase
fact check.
inside
This
the
is
recycling
awesome.
plant.
Every podcast
Some
should
of
have
the
a
waste
fact checker.
is sorted by hand to ensure
That's why I
proper
have
separation.
Congress should
behind
have
the
a fact
scenes.
checker.
Good job, man.
It's a vast operation coordinated from a central command
Frankie
post.
B behind the scenes.
I like it more because he told me
Dedicated
I was right.
process
It's really
help to ensure high collection
I was
rates
just
by
like, you're
meticulously
probably gonna be right.
separating
No, I was pretty
different
sure
waste
you were
materials.
right. I was just like, all right,
Some
whatever.
use high-tech, light-sensitive sorting techniques. Some use
So yeah, but
chemical
that
baths,
is a huge
all
issue. Like
depending
waste
on
is
the
a huge
PV
issue.
technology
Honestly, to be
used.
completely honest, we don't really need to be consuming as much
Step
energy
by
as
step,
we
the
do.
components need to be
No, we
further
really
refined.
don't. And
Refined until
funny
they
that you
reach a
mention that,
stage where the
'cause
industry can use the recovered
And again, I was watching a YouTube video on, it's just like obviously sustainability and stuff, and it was pretty much like a small scale video of like, you take a pond, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you have, say, 10 fish in it. Excuse me. And you have 5 farmers. They take 1 fish each, for the day.
Yeah.
All that they need. They don't take 1, 2, 3, whatever. Because then if you take more than you need, then eventually the pond is empty
The pond will
with
be
fish.
empty.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So it was just like, this is how we have to run our, globally. That's how we have to use our resources, is that when there's 10 fish or 10 resources,
Right.
we take only as much as we need. So 1 fish, 1 fish, 1 fish, because then the other pairs could reproduce and then just keep going and going and going.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I thought
That's
it
a
was
really great analogy.
Yeah.
I like that.
I mean, or, just like that
As an
analogy was, I thought it was just so simple, and yet it's like, why not spread it to the world? Be like, just do the, take only what you need.
No, Ted, this is America. If something's broken, we just buy a new one.
Oh, sorry.
Right.
Where the
Like, we
hell
don't
is
try
my
and
head?
fix that thing. What are you talking about? This consumer culture, man.
Oh, yeah. Whoops. My bad. We do things that don't make sense. Sorry.
Right. Yeah. No.
Sorry.
I mean, they make complete sense if you're, if you've never thought about anything other than that. No,
Cheers to that. Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
I mean, no, it makes sense. Like, I do it all the time. If, like, a heel breaks on my shoe, I'm not taking it to a cobbler. I go out and buy a new pair of shoes. I'm killing my own wallet with that logic, but...
Well, you bring up a good point, is that you're killing your own wallet.
Yeah.
So then you work harder to make more money to do the same thing.
Exactly. And I feel like that's probably a good metaphor for what we're doing right now. We need to create more energy. Even if you factor in natural gas, we only have enough natural gas.
We have to create more energy, or we have to use the energy more wisely?
Both. So if we're not using energy more wisely, we need to create... If we're not using energy wisely, we need to create more energy. We need more fuel. The population of the world is only going to grow. And if you're talking just the United States, we only have enough natural gas right now in the United States to last our current energy needs for 100 years.
Yeah, I remember hearing
So,
that.
right. So what do we need to do? Okay, well, either we need to move towards renewable energy so we don't run into a problem. But at the same time, that's not going to fix all the problems. We have to...
No, I'm not saying it's...
Right.
It's pretty much like, I guess, prolonging it in a way.
Right.
To an extent, obviously.
Right.
But...
I'm not saying renewable energy fixes everything. You're still using electricity, and there's still plastic being used in the world, and all that fun stuff. But
hashtag rethink disposable.
we can talk about everything disposable.
We will.
But this is a good segue, actually, because what we need to do is we need to start reducing the amount of consumption.
True.
Yeah, and so one of the things that Clean Water Action is doing, I mean, not on the energy side of things, but just from a waste perspective, we have this really cool campaign called, like you said, Rethink Disposable.
Did I say that? Whoops.
You did. It's okay. I stole my thunder a little bit. But it's your show.
I gave it to you. I gave it to you.
But yeah, it's a really great program. Basically, what we want to do is there's so much stuff that we just throw away. Single-use disposables. Just in the United States alone, 500 million straws are used every single day. That's insane. Right.
Sorry, that's how the earth feels right now.
Right, and when you have a garbage patch the size of the continental United States in the Pacific Ocean, why? Because we're using all of this crap, and it's just like not all, even if it goes in a landfill, it can still end up in the ocean. And why would we want things in landfills? It's just taking up space and being toxic.
Wait, so I couldn't help overhear what you just said. Something about a patch in the ocean?
Oh yeah, it's called the Great Garbage Patch.
Oh,
there is a garbage patch the size of the continental United States in the middle of it. That's that big.
I thought it was like half the U.S.
No, it is that big.
Damn.
You can fact check me.
Fact check
I am
just to
100%
make sure.
that's correct.
There you go. Someone's catching on here. What was it?
The Great Garbage Patch.
Pacific Garbage
Oh,
Patch.
yeah,
Pacific
I
Garbage
know about. What about it? How long?
Just
how
fact
big
check
is
It's the size of the continental United States, right?
it? It's definitely a few miles across. I know that.
No,
They
that,
did- but the
no,
what's
it's,
name? That one
it's
thing-
freaking huge.
That kid invented.
No,
these,
it was
like,
literally-
It's
oh
like
my
a
God.
technology. It's stingray. It's like a
Check it.
circle that surrounds the whole thing. and it-
Wait, I think I do.
I forget his name.
I do remember that. Yeah. No, it was oh crap! I forget what the hell the machine is. All right, if I had my phone, I'd be fact checking this too. What?
It's the size of the United States.
Yeah, it's if it's just about there. It's freaking huge. It's like it. That's why they call it the
Size
plastic
of your
island.
mom,
It's the
Dad.
size of Texas.
All right,
Size
I
of
didn't-
Texas?
I was gonna say I didn't think it
No.
was that the size of the U.S. or else that would be the whole entire Atlantic City, pretty much. Yeah, Atlantic City, Atlantic Ocean.
Oh my God! Then
It says that
my
it could be bigger than Mexico.
Well, that's
all right. Well
that's
then,
still freaking huge.
well then, shout
Pardon
out
my
to the
language, but that's
professors.
fucking huge.
Shout out to the professors at Westchester University. You were wrong.
It's 120 miles long.
Burn! No I'm kidding.
And it is the size of Texas, yes.
All right,
now
okay.
it is.
All
It's
right.
only going to be growing.
You know
All
what?
right, so
Texas is freaking huge.
Hey, that's so
Texas is bigger
freaking
than
big.
Europe.
I don't care
right?
who
Like-
you are. Like, all right, so the real fact of the day is that the garbage patch. Take it away.
The Great Pacific Garbage Patch, the size of the state of Texas. No, it's huge. It's a huge patch of plastic bags and plastic water bottles and like the little plastic thingies that you see on like cans, like 6-packs of cans. You know, those little plastic circle things.
Every time oh yeah, you mean this right here?
Yeah, that thing.
Little-
That one right there.
These right here.
And then poor turtles and fish and
These
seals
things right
and
here?
dolphins.
Yeah.
Yeah, those things.
These right here.
Those
Yeah.
lovely things. Cut it up before you put it in your
Yeah,
garbage.
definitely. Seriously, cut it up before you dispose of it. No, because I'm dead serious with that because when those get into our landfills or just into the ocean in general, a lot of marine life actually swallow
They
that
just
or
eat
just
it.
getting caught in it.
They
And
get caught in it and die, and it's like really terrible. You see sea turtles that have literally grown
around
it.
Yeah, and it's
like crazy.
fucking gross.
The 22-year-old, his name is Boyan Slat, and he has a
Boyan
nonprofit
Slat?
organization, that is cleaning up the garbage.
The garbage patch.
Way to go,
That's
Boyan
awesome.
Slat. There you go.
That's an activist.
Someone's being part of the solution, not the pollution. Damn it. Shit.
But yeah, so
Pardon my
single-use
cursing,
disposable,
but
it's a huge
important,
problem.
So
like,
that's why I don't give a shit.
right,
Hey.
like you go to Starbucks or you go to Dunkin' Donuts or you go to your Chinese place and you get takeout and you don't even think about it. Right?
No, you don't.
You go
And
to the
even when
grocery store.
Even when you go to a bar such as this, such as this one.
Right.
Actually, we're not using
So your
plastic straws, so
bartender
we're
will
good.
stick like 2 cocktail straws in your drink.
Oh yeah, and
You're
they're
not
like
even thinking
freaking
about
small
it.
as hell. They're like,
Right.
But-
So
I don't even. Anytime I make drinks,
I'm-
I never give anyone straws
unless they ask.
for it.
Yes!
Good man. Good
Okay.
man.
everyone follow the way Frankie does it. Just don't give
Yeah.
anyone straws.
Right. Well, so when I go out to a restaurant or when I go to a bar, unless I forget, which I do sometimes because I am human,
What?
oh my God, I'm not a robot. Did you know?
Wait, you're not a robot?
No,
Crap! I thought you
no,
were like
I'm like
AI or
a
something.
Homo sapien. So I ask for no straws. I'm like, hey, don't give us any straws.
You know what sucks is that I'm actually a culprit of that. Every time I order a drink, I totally forgot to say no straws, so then I take it out and just put it right there. But that's also not.
But it's already
really
been
helping.
used, like it's gonna get thrown out.
Yeah, so go
Yeah.
me. Hey.
So this program Rethink Disposable is it's mostly education based. Like a lot of people don't know.
Hey, so is this show. Look at that.
Right, it's mostly education based, and it's mostly focused around restaurants, because one of the biggest producers of single-use disposables is our restaurants. And so Rethink Disposable does this thing where we audit restaurants. You go and you see how much plastic waste or paper waste they're using, and then create a program for them individually. It's different for each restaurant, and I'm not the organizer, so I don't know exactly what the steps are. But they create a plan and then help that restaurant reduce their waste. So not only are they producing less trash, but they're also saving a little bit of money too.
Look at that.
Yeah.
saving money.
We've rolled it out. The Asbury Park Boardwalk is doing Rethink Disposable. They did a Straws by Request program all summer. The Asbury Park Bazaar is doing some work with that. There's also some restaurants in Montclair, New Jersey, that are working to reduce their waste. It's a really
I'm pretty
amazing
sure Whole
program.
Foods does that, doesn't it? Don't they?
Whole Foods only gives you paper bags.
No, what I'm saying is like when you actually dispose of your waste, they actually have recycling trash and compost.
And compost, yeah.
Which is
yeah.
awesome. So good job with that.
It's really great. A lot of restaurants in
By the
New
way,
Jersey can't
any of these
compost.
things that we are talking about, we're not like sponsored by or anything. So
Right.
no, because
no one's paying us to say these
yeah,
things.
seriously, no one is. I'm just shouting them out because they're doing something good.
Yeah, they are doing something good. It's Wegmans can get away with doing the composting thing. It's actually really expensive and really annoying to try and have compost removed. Like, there's not a lot of composters in New Jersey.
No, there isn't.
No. So it's like really hard for restaurants, even if they want to do that, they can't. And once you get above a certain amount, like if you want to compost in your own home, fine. No one's going to come knocking on your door and be like, we need to regulate your compost.
Yeah. Composting police, let's go.
Right, the EPA is not going to come. But
no, sorry. No bueno.
But when you're talking about a large amount of compost like that, like think about how much food waste restaurants use. Like they could have a lot of compost.
Oh yeah, definitely restaurants. Yeah.
Right, and so once it gets to a large quantity, like it has to go to someone who knows how to handle that much organic material. Because composting, it's releases gases. You could like really hurt someone.
Yeah, pretty much.
So yeah.
Interchanging drinks.
So that's Rethink Disposable. And then they come back and audit and do a second audit and see what the restaurant, how much waste they avoided and how much money they saved. And it's actually, it seems like it would be a negligible cost, but over time it really adds up.
That's compound effect. Like the little that you do, but that actually does add up a lot.
Right. Eventually it might pay for, your rent for that building for a year. You never know.
You never know.
So
Till you try.
So it's a really awesome program. We did this whole thing over the month of December, which I loved, and I actually did, except for the first day of December because I forgot it was December 1st, where we did straw-free December. I went the whole month of December without using a straw.
I feel like that would be like straw-free September.
You could do it every month. You could do.
Or how about let's just do straw-free all year?
Yeah, straw-free every day, all day, every day.
Forever.
I mean, and it's a lot easier for me personally to do in the winter because I love cold brew coffee and iced coffee, and I hate sitting in coffee shops. I just want to take my coffee to go. I know that's a weird thing. A lot of people like to linger with their coffee. I don't.
No, just take my family, for example. We're on the move all the freaking time, so
yeah.
Drive through coffee or iced tea, whatever the hell you want. I'm personally an iced tea drinker.
Oh,
but
gotcha.
I mean, I can go for a nice light and sweet coffee. I'm a very sweet person. So.
Yeah, that's true. You
Oh
are
yeah.
yeah.
Anyway.
But yeah, so it's a lot easier to do in the winter because you're drinking a lot more hot drinks. So you're not.
Well, also in the
straws.
When it's winter, you're also burning like twice as much calories too. Well, depending on what you're doing.
That's
like,
true.
For example, me.
What is it? Shivering outside in the cold for an hour is the equivalent of, or shivering outside in the cold for 15 minutes is the equivalent of going to the gym for like an hour.
I
feel like
think
I saw that.
Know that, but then again,
that's definitely wrong. Don't fact check me. That's definitely wrong. I know it's wrong.
That is true. I'll go outside so fast. I swear to God, I'll grade these papers.
It's wrong. I mean, you do burn more calories when you're cold. That's
no, you do
because your body's working overtime to keep itself warm.
No, exactly. That's why that's why when, and I know that I realize it's in a late time of my life, but when I started canvassing and stuff, and I would be like shivering outside, knocking on doors and stuff.
Like, oh great, I can have that third.
People
beer
are like,
tonight.
crap, that's who you are. I'm like, no, we're doing a good thing though. So no, but no, like what?
For 15 minutes, we'll burn 100 calories.
That's actually pretty good. That's a Corona Light
Shivering
right
for
there.
how long?
15 minutes.
15 minutes shivering equals 100 calories.
So you stand out there for an hour,
There you go.
That's like what? A gin and tonic is like 110 calories?
Yeah. So 400, so like.
And that's a gin and tonic, not a gin and dietonic, so you know.
Oh, crap, my bad. No, but like that's pretty much like the equivalent to.
Cancels it out, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, because like I'm just trying to find the equivalent of like when you eat, like, so like going to Dunkin' Donuts and getting like a sausage, egg, and cheese croissant or whatever. That's like between like 200 and 400 calories roughly, because they always have the calorie thing. So, but that's about the amount of that. So.
So you can't
weight loss.
for like
don't
3
skip
hours.
it. No.
No, but yeah. So
Anyway,
it's reducing your plastic waste. Like, go buy the stupid reusable grocery bags.
My mom has
those. It is
those.
so easy to do.
It's really easy. Like a lot.
They're like $1.
$1? What?
I know. It's so cheap.
You're
lying.
Forever. You're lying. That's not possible. It can't be that cheap. It can't be cheaper than plastic. Not possible.
It is.
Fact
It's
check.
not cheaper than plastic. It's not. I mean, some of them are made out of plastic, but it's just not a single-use plastic.
Some marketplaces.
It's 99 cents.
Fact checker. 100%
There you
their
go.
dollar. I have
We have a lot of fact checks this show, damn.
And you can get like a lot of times they'll actually, like, if you don't have any or you forgot to bring yours, sometimes I'll just buy a new one because they have them right there at the checkout.
Yeah.
I'm like, well,
I don't walk around.
I'm not gonna go around
for my Christmas shopping, and I always pick up more than I can carry. So by the end of the day, I'm just like, I just pick it up in the first, like, when I walk in there and just throw everything
Right,
into the
right.
bag. Everyone thinks I'm stealing everything, but that's, the trade-off.
Damn,
The cute
I
little
should
ones
I
with the
should see if
pug
my
on them.
mom's car is still here. I'll just like grab a reusable bag and just be like, yeah, look at it. Just look at it.
No, they're really, honestly, they're
No,
really
but
great.
seriously, in all
They're,
honesty.
you can fit more things in them. So normally, if I have like a plastic,
Some of them are pretty stretchy too.
Yeah, they are pretty stretchy. If
So, like,
if I'm going
they
to
go
the
from
grocery
this
store,
and then you fill it up, it's like twice as big.
right? If I'm going to the grocery store, you normally have like 4 to. If it's those single-use plastic bags, I'm normally like 4 to 5. If I'm using my my reusable ones, I'm using like 2. So it's way easier to carry all of your groceries into your house
Oh my god.
at one time.
It's actually
so it's like there's
easier.
so many
What?
plus there's so many plus sides to this.
Everyone loves an easier lifestyle, so hey.
Yeah, but it's important. It's like little teeny tiny things that you can do right now that actually make a huge difference.
Amen to that.
Like a huge difference. Like, don't buy Poland Spring water bottles and drink that. Like, I understand that in South Jersey, sometimes you can't drink the tap water because you get cancer. But especially here in Tom's River, there's like cancer clusters all over Tom's River. Well, there's a whole history there, but there's actually a really great book called Tom's River. It's like the history of the chemical companies down in Tom's River, right here where we are right now.
We're in Tom's River, New Jersey.
We are in Tom's River, New Jersey, and it explains.
Sorry, you can't have my address either. Sorry.
No, I won't give that. But yeah, no, it's really interesting. So I understand that sometimes you can't just drink your tap water. I really do. I get that. And that's something that Clean Water Action is working on. Trust me.
Oh, trust me, we are.
We're working on it every day.
Every day.
But but you can get a Brita filter and use a reusable water bottle. They sell water bottles with little Brita filters right in there. So it's like little things that you can do that I think make my life a little bit easier. It also makes the
personal
planet.
experience. Storytell.
I mean, having my reusable water bottle on me at all times. You're like walking around. Have you ever been like you're driving and you're just like so thirsty?
Yeah, that's me like almost every day.
Right. Well, guess what? It's right there. You know what I mean? Like you don't have
look at that.
Right. You don't have to go and stop and like buy a water bottle. If you're at the mall or you're shopping, like you don't have to stop at the food court and buy something. You know what I mean? It's just
a couple weeks ago, I actually sat down with my mom and was like, "Hey, by the way, you know that huge Poland Spring case that we have on the top of the fridge outside? Yeah, why? Yeah, that's gonna be the last one that you ever buy." She's like, "Why?" I'm like, "Because plastic is a huge polluter. It's really bad for the environment." She's like, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah." So I'm slowly but surely converting my whole entire family over to like, renewable water bottles and non-plastic material.
Yeah,
Granted. I'm not saying like all of what we're gonna do is gonna be like
it's
biodegradable, but
it's not
I'm saying
the entire solution, but it's part of the solution.
No, it is part of the solution, and that's what I'm trying to get at. Is that not everything that we're going to convert to is going to be all environmental because, we are literally dependent on plastic for right now.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
there's
always a trade-off to everything is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
So,
baby
so
steps.
Rethink Disposable is
Baby
awesome.
steps.
Everyone should check it out. It's
check out which one?
Rethink Disposable.
Yes.
If you go on Clean Water Action's website, it's cleanwateraction.org.
And there'll be a link in the description.
There's I don't know exactly where it is on the website. I could look it up right now. But Rethink Disposable is on there, and there's Rethink Disposable in California, and there's Rethink Disposable in New Jersey. So check out, if you live in California, check out the California one. If you live in New Jersey, check out New Jersey.
Shocker.
It was a California flagship, because apparently they're the pioneers on everything environmental in the United States. It used to be New Jersey, but then Chris Christie happened, so now it's California.
Pretty much. All right, with that being said, we're going to take a short break while you guys look up the website and everything, and we'll be back in just a hot second. Boom. Podcast! Hey guys, we're back on the drink. Here we go after that nice, lovely break. Nice. So, excuse me. So, one of our future guests wrote into me on Facebook Messenger about a little sniglet of the psychology behind transferring or converting from natural gas and coal and all that stuff to renewable energy. So I'm just gonna kind of read it off really quick. It's like an essay long. No, it's not that long, but it's pretty long. Anyway, so he writes in, and his name is Ken. Good job, Ken. And so he's like, Ted, basically, so what he was going to say is, unfortunately, let me rephrase that. In a psychology sense, not all people are resistant to change because it is something that is different and new to them, which makes sense. Many people feel as though change is a lot to cope with. People do not want to change because change adds additional stress and a lack of understanding and a fear of the unknown. For many people, adding a new routine and deflating another is a lot of work. We have a part of the brain that is dedicated specifically to routine. And even though we do not see switching to clean energy as a new routine, really it is. Many people will be wary and feel as though they do not understand it. When then do not understand it, there's a lack of faith in how the newer energy will work. So then I was like, okay, that makes sense. And then he says, to continue, he says, switching to cleaner energy will benefit everyone. Psychologically speaking, of course, the many pollutants in the air that affect our psychological well-being have negative effects on us over positive effects. The non-renewable energies place us at a psychological disadvantage, if you will. The negative effects of complacency will have negative effects on the community as well. It sounds silly, but when you think about it, creating more toxic waste affects the environment. The environment then negatively affects how we interact. No one is going to want to go outside if there is pollution in the air, making it hard to breathe or difficult to see the sun. In some cases, take China. Nature has a calming effect on most people. The sun gives us vitamin D, but no one wants to go out walking their children in nature when those effects are gone, which totally makes sense. Mm-hmm. You can relate to this to what I'm sure that most of your listeners are experiencing now with the tremendous snow we're all stuck in the house, and yes, the first day we're out of work, that was great. But the increasing cold keeps us inside. It's going to be depressing after a while. Duh. If you think about it in the grand scale, this is how global warming works. Think about it. Think about your house. The ozone is your windows. If we keep putting holes in the windows, the house is going to get really hot during the summer when we're closer to the sun. And super cold in the winter when we are away from the sun. The coldest New Year's on record, yes, it is for a reason. I am not a climate scientist, so I'm not sure there are many holes in my theory to let the hot air out. But in all seriousness, a lack of change with the status quo is going to result in a very different environmental experience for all of us. Am I worried about the polar ice caps and the environmental connection we will have with them? Who doesn't love a polar bear? They may be mean, but I find a world where we can only see them in a zoo to be unfortunate state to be in. Back to the psychology though. In all fairness, we are a product of our environment, and if our environment is going to be toxic from the fuels that we use, we are going to be toxic because of those fuel that we use. And that was it.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah, so that was it.
There's a lot of psychological issues that can be tied to your...
No, but the last part he said it when we feed the environment toxic, harmful chemicals, we're going to breathe that in. So it's pretty much what you do to the environment comes right back at you.
Right. Yeah, I mean, we're... as much as I hate the saying, we are a human community, right? Like, we have to share the freaking earth. There's nowhere else to go. There's literally
a famous
nowhere
saying
else to go.
The environment is not part of us, we are part of the environment.
Yes. That was, oh my God, that's one of my favorite sayings. And
right?
There's this book called Ishmael. Not Call Me Ishmael. It's a completely different book. It's called Ishmael, and it is...
I'm really hot.
It completely talks about humans and their relationship to the environment, and we always have viewed ourselves as, because one of the reasons might be religion, but we've always seen ourselves as like above everything else. Like we're above the animals and the trees and all this stuff, and it's just for us to use. They are tools for us.
Yeah, there's plenty of tools out there for us to use, but we just can't abuse it. Yeah,
it's that's really interesting.
Mm.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Except I
Don't
think
worry,
that
he'll be on the show at a later date.
I think that his positing that, I mean, I would agree that people just generally resist change because they don't know what the outcome will be of that, like what's going to happen after that change. But when it comes to renewable energy, I completely disagree with that. I mean, there are countries in the world that have moved to renewable energy and seen an increase in economic productivity. There are states in the United States, like Vermont, for example,
which I just came back from.
Right, and New York that have done these kinds of things, and
Vermont actually
been fine.
is going really well on renewable. Yeah. Well, not totally renewable, so to speak, but I just came back from Killington. Me and my friends went, for a ski trip and stuff, which was awesome, by the way. But I gotta give a shout out to Mountain Sports Inn. It's like a family-run place, and it was really cozy. It was nice.
Sounds cozy, just the name.
Yeah, right. And no, but they actually, I think I still have a picture of it. They, all right, too much storage, so I can't open it. But
no worries.
In a nutshell, it pretty much said, "Hey, we have a lot. We're running on, water supply and our water supply, the waste treatment and all this stuff affects the environment. So please, if you have your own towel, hang it up so we don't take it." Like pretty much they said like, put it back where you found it, so then if it's on the ground, we won't take it and then have to use more energy to wash it or whatever.
Are doing that. It's actually really great.
It's cool though, but that goes back to what we were saying on how small little steps. You know what I'm saying? And it's
imagine if the Hilton hotel chain were to do that. Could
No
you imagine?
offense, but no.
Right, but think about it. Like it seems like a small thing, but when you get large corporations to do these small things, then it makes a huge difference.
Yeah, definitely.
Um,
And, no, but
that's
it's awesome though, because like I do always see, you know, some of these small places that are just doing small little things to help the environment, because the environment's starting to become a whole like huge trend now. I mean, it's been, but it's starting to blow up more and more. Is what
right.
I'm saying.
It's so funny to me that like the environment has to be trendy. Like, are you kidding?
Well, hey,
You may not be able to see it, but Megan Fitzpatrick from Environment New Jersey says 6.7 million pounds of toxic chemicals were dumped into the Delaware River in 2010. She says this should be especially alarming to New Jersey residents because the Delaware River provides drinking water to millions of people in the Garden State.
The biggest thing that most people probably think about is what's going to affect me, so the human health impact. So the chemicals we're seeing are things like benzene, arsenic, mercury.
A report by Environment New Jersey, a nonprofit environmental activist group, documented and analyzed dangerous pollutants in America's waterways in 2010 by compiling toxic chemical releases reported to the United States Environmental Protection Agency. The report says that 226 million pounds of toxic chemicals were discharged into 1,400 waterways across the country. Among them,
hopefully he'll vote the right way. Yeah, we know Governor Cuomo is going to vote for no fracking because he's already banned it in his own state. We know,
who's he the governor for again?
New York.
Oh, okay.
We know
I heard
that,
of him, I just forget where he was.
Right. We know that Phil Murphy is going to vote for no fracking.
He
so, and we also know that the governor of Delaware has consistently voted no for fracking initiatives because they're downstream, they're the lowest. So all of that pollution ends up affecting Delaware more than it affects every other state in the basin.
Makes sense.
We know that the federal representative is going to vote yes for fracking because they're a Trump appointee, and that's just the position that Trump has.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Sucks, and we're but and the governor of Pennsylvania has consistently voted for fracking initiatives, even though his state has been the most ravaged by the pollution effects of fracking.
It's all about the money. Anyway.
It's all about the money. So it's really awesome. There's stuff at the Philadelphia airport, and on I want to say January 24th.
Fact check.
No, I mean there's no fact check. Like it's in my email.
No, but just check it anyway.
I will check it.
You can check that, and but I actually wanted to see something right after you said that. So with all this being said and everything, for everyone that is listening, definitely if you're didn't know some of this 24th. Or what is it?
Yes, it's January.
For those people you wanted to help the most.
Thank you. We're out of time on that question. I'd like to bring in Alfred Doblin for our next question.
Ms. Guadagno, we're going to talk about something near and dear to everybody in New Jersey's heart, property taxes. You have a circuit breaker plan to provide property tax relief. If the school portion of your local taxes hits a certain point, breaker kicks in, and then the state, depending on the income, could give that homeowner up to $3,000. Well, that's a lot of $3,000. That's a lot of breakers. Where's the money coming from?
Well, first, to be more specific, on average.
Outreach specialist, which what does that mean? I manage the Energy and Environmental Resource Center. The Energy and Environmental Resource Center is the living room of the nuclear plant. So we welcome.
it's full of the sewage and domestic sewage, as well as undertreated sewage, and the chemical effluent from a number of manufacturing plants from a city of almost 2.5 million people.
Well, it's pretty scary because we live right here.
we will be taking our show to Last Wave Brewing Company in Point Pleasant.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I'm still in contact with the guys. So
that's cool.
We'll hopefully be at another bar. And
taking the show on the road.
Taking the show on the road. There we go. And remember, guys.